You felt it before you saw me. Too late now.
There's music playing in the darkness. It's a binaural remix of a song I used to love, only this version sucks. You know when you hear a song too much and start to hate it? That. Analog, lost in a digital haze. The lights come on slow, programmed to mimic a terror sunrise. Then a feminine voice cuts through the tune, its synthetic edge slicing through my thoughts, dragging me to consciousness. I didn't dream last night. It's been a long time since I slept this well. For once I'm not waking up drenched in sweat. My hands aren't fists, fighting to save my wife and my child on a distant world. Psychers say I'm carrying too much baggage, tell me to go get my head stuff erased. But me? I'd rather live with it. I don't want neurotechs poking around in my grey matter ever again. I had my fill of that working protection a lifetime ago. No. I'll stick with the ghosts of my past. At least they never leave.
Good morning, Rex. It's 0700 here on Braxos. Temperature 62 degrees. Air traffic free-flowing. Air pollution advisory level 4. Would you like to start your day with a CAFO?
I roll off the nano mattress, feeling it self-compress. By the time I reach for a smoke, it's already slotted itself back into the wall. A desk with a floating bank of hollow screens slides out to replace it, right on cue. My eyes flick over news feeds, advertisements and war updates. Each one its own kind of propaganda. Nothing is new. It feels like everything is on repeat these days. My current place is in Habbo Block T8481. It's not one of the big towers, it's a cluster of black cuboids laid out with what they call geometric appeal. It's wrapped around a towering hill of volcanic rock. I get 500 square feet and a view of the industrial side of the city. I've had plenty worse.
Do you wish to log on? Security access required.
No, Nitra. I glare, exhaling a cloud of smoke. I know I look pissed. It's more than justified. I do not, and don't ask. Nitra is my AI. I've modded her myself, dialed up the sass, added a little bite. She shouldn't ever be prompting me to log on. It's just another thing on my list of technical headaches. Nitra, run a diagnostic on yourself and make a note for me to check up on you later.
As you wish, Mr. Fenton.
Oh, Mr. Fenton now. Shit. I must have hit a nerve or whatever passes for one. Let's just stick with Rex, old girl. Don't take it personal. I need to take a shower. Nitra, I ask, already knowing I won't like the answer. How's my water credits? You have 17 units remaining, she tells me. She sounds almost happy about it. All right, I say, heading into a plasteel tube in the corner of the room. Give me 2 minutes of biomist and 10 seconds of the H2O. Temperature minimum. The biomist is to kill the bacteria. H2O, just to feel human again. I figure that should do the trick. It does, and by the time I'm done, I feel fully optimized. Hell, even the new knee isn't hurting today. I dropped 1,000 chits on it just to scramble gait recognition. That's no easy feat with modern street cams. Still, mostly it does the job. Mostly. There's a recurring glitch with the pain receptors I haven't figured out how to override. No biggie. Like I say, I've got a list of technical to be fixed, but for now at least, it's fine. Grabbing my all-weather long coat, I head out, descend from the habitation blocks and catch a slow transit to the neon haze downtown. It's raining and the clouds are low. On this side of the city, it's always like this. At least living by the moisture generators makes for cheap rent. It almost compensates for some of the freaks you run into out here. You live off-world the way I do, you take what you can get. Just what is it I do? Well, people call it exports with an allergy to customs enforcement. No office, no license, no questions. I don't need your life story. You want off-world without a trail, you want to disappear. I'm your guy. For a price. Or at least I was. Lately, I've been getting soft. Sentimental, you might say. Something about this last client, her and her daughter, hit me right in the memories. Reminded me of my Sarah and little Belle before it all went away. I could almost hear Sarah's voice telling me I should help them. Even in death, I can't help but want to make her happy. Reaching Terminus Station, the transport slows, raises the lights, and I'm jolted awake from my thoughts. Nitra is back, piping directly into my hearing augments, louder than I'd like.
Hello, Rex. Do you wish to log on? Security access required.
I glare at my thin wristband where a stripped-down, off-grid Nitra runs her quiet code. What? No, I'm confused by the interruption, but she persists.
Shall I update records for the latest client now?
I flicker into sleep mode with a scowl. That's concerning, not like her to be so forward. But what's more concerning is I don't keep records on clients. Not digital anyway, nothing Nitra could be aware of, so her request slams my psyche like a power hammer. Behind my fridge is a hidden panel. Behind that, a zero-tech safe where I keep the things I'm too stupid to remember. But it's all old-world paper records. And courtesy of the plasma mine I installed, it can be reduced to particles if it's tampered with. Nitra doesn't know any of this, because I always take her offline whenever I access it. You can never be too careful in my line of work. So now I'm suspicious. Not that creeping corners of your mind suspicious. No, this is the 7 foot of drunken fuckery hiding an ice pick behind its back variety. Must be blowback from the job I haven't quite finished. Someone's hard-hacked my security while I slept, thinking something they want is sitting in my digital. They're hoping they can prompt me to log on. Well, good luck with that. I have protocols. I shut the wristband down, snapping it in two across the self-gen power feed. Blue sparks lick at my fingers. More shit to fix. Sighing, I step out of the station and head out towards the low town quarter. I can already feel the industrialized thrum rising up through my boots. I know Lowtown pretty well. I'd probably spend more time here if the air didn't reek of ammonia and damp cow shit. Warehouse factory farming, coupled with a fertilizer plant, Makes one hell of a combination. A surplus of cheap labour had created a microcosm of domiciles. Pushed together, they made their own noisy alleyways, bursting with steaming food stands and crimson-lit companion rooms. Broken neon wove a tapestry of light, peddling liquor and distraction. I slipped through the crowd. It's easier than pushing and draws less attention. A few turns later, the foot traffic thinned out, and I approached two businessmen locked in debate over a battered black case. "Listen, it doesn't matter how you crack this," one of them snarled. His voice was jittery and at odds with his fine tailored suit. Mr. Marcus wants that data out before the system burns." Both of them turned and locked eyes with me, vacant, unblinking, like they were waiting for something. There's always some scam job going on down here with the sketches and the freaks. I pushed on, moving through the rat runs, ignoring offers from a gauntlet of good time femmes, and headed for the one street joint I trusted well enough to eat at, Fangs. The one advantage to eating in the farming zone was you could be sure the food was genuine. Stolen? Maybe. But at least not synthesized. Fangs himself was an old skinny guy with black thinning hair and glasses. He spoke with an off-world accent, Korean maybe. There was a K colony on Spriggle 9 that was only a jump away. "Hey Rex, you alright, yes?" I nodded. "Yeah, you?" "Good. Can't complain." "Well, I can't complain enough. Endless rain and shit in the air. Am I right?" I allowed half a smile to creep onto my face as I sat down on a tall stool. Say what you want about Fangs, he was honest to a fault. "You want usual Rex?" "Yeah. Surprise me," I replied. This was his ongoing joke with everyone. He even ran an advert about it on the Socialnet. Fangs said he only served 2 dishes. One was kimchi egg noodle, and the other one wasn't. The food, though, was better than I expected, and we talked whilst I ate. "Fangs, you remember last time I was here, we talked about a man? Well, I need to speak with him again. Any ideas where he is?" Fangs seemed to freeze, motionless for a moment. I noticed the radio playing the same song from this morning. It's as if it's stalking me. "Not sure how I can help you with that now. Why don't you call back later?" "So, no ideas?" I asked, staring him in the eye while my suspicions were vying for paranoia status. "Sorry, if you want to send a message, you can use my terminal to log on." I looked at him warily now. Was he a threat? He seemed off. He didn't strike me as scared, but definitely wasn't himself. He knew damn well this wasn't a guy you'd ever leave a digital footprint with. "No, that's all right," I said, wiping my mouth. "Are you okay, Fangs?" "Me? Mr. Rex, I'm good. Can't complain," he said, smiling broadly. I nodded slowly and got up to leave. "Okay, well, speak later, yeah?" "Anytime, Rex," he shouts after me. Walking away, I'm already strategizing. I've got a job to finish, a man I need to find, but Fangs is acting strange. Nitra's glitched, and someone is sniffing around my systems. Smells like trouble's already at my door. I've only got 2, maybe 3 days at the most to obtain IDs and transport docs. Failing that, my client's situation drifts ever closer towards a spiral of terminal outcomes. If that happens, the blowback won't be subtle. I'll have more eyes towards me than I'm ever comfortable with. You know that old line, I know a guy who knows a guy? Yeah, that's who I need to see next. 10 minutes in a sky drone and I'm 100 chits lighter. Life's expensive in the northern quarter these days, but at least this side of the city isn't drowning in rain. The drone drops me on a rooftop. It's broad, flat, lit with a white landing ring that flips to green the moment I step off. VIP access to Fuglies, an always open club, if you're into flesh, noise, and indulgence. I didn't name it, don't even ask, but you can feel the bass hit you like a quarterback even from here. I adjust my hearing augments, filter bass, and enhance for clear speech. Now it's nothing but a dull thump in my chest. They've got a big, friendly Choback working the door, 7 feet of enhancements and a PR smile. Don't get it twisted. I've seen him toss out an off-duty fire team for disrespecting the dancers. Didn't even break a sweat. He's wearing skim glasses tuned to spot concealed weapons and a stretch suit a size too small, like he borrowed it from a younger version of himself before discovering the K-roids and the PEDs. I approach, already pulling out a 20 chit to smooth my entrance. I've been here a few times before, but always expected. Every time I tip the big guy, he says the same thing. Why, thank ye kindly. May the gods smile upon you. But this time, nothing. Just him humming. Humming the same remix crap I woke up to this morning. A beat skips. No, not the music. My vision pixelates. Just for one blink. It's a strip light buzzing above me. Wires. Antiseptic. Something cold pressing against my temple. Then it's gone. I rub my eyes, my jaw clenched. It's probably just an augment glitch. Maybe my knee pains found a shortcut through my neuro-optics. I'll add it to my list. Inside, it's exactly what I remembered, only worse. Perfume and sweat. Naked, paid dancers tease rich kids, cavorting on a mix of bad narcotics and off-world alcohol. The real stuff. All whilst a robotic DJ simulates flipping discs on an old-time music deck. I must be getting old. I remember this fad for vintage retro first time it came back 20 years ago. You are getting old. A voice in my head grabs my gut and twists. It's her voice. My wife's voice. For a heartbeat, I see her, just a flicker like a glitch in my optics. Then a sharp, burning pain shoots through my skull. Eyes, temples, white hot. I double up, retching. I stumble back, falling straight into a waitress carrying drinks. Glasses spill and fall to the floor as I knock her over and we both take a tumble. I spring up, looking around frantically, mind racing in turmoil. I see her again, this time in the middle of the dance floor, 30 feet away, bathed in pulsing lights and flashing neon. My view interspersed with lasers and smoke, but I know it's her. Exactly how I remember. It's her. I don't think. I just run, pushing through bodies, desperate, my hands reaching out for her to hold her again. There's a moment of weightlessness, a consuming, artificial darkness, and then another flash of pain. I find myself back near the bar again, stumbling into the same waitress, carrying the same drinks. Once again the glasses spill, fall to the floor. Once again I knock her over and we take a tumble. It's the same moment. Time has slipped a little. That's all. It's the 26th century. Despite all our advancements, I know there's no such thing as time travel. It's still a hypothesis waiting for brains sharper than mine to figure out. Oh, fuck, I mutter, then louder as the full reality hits. Fuck! I scream it into the noise, ignoring the crowd, the lights, the pounding bass, because there's only one place where the time runs in loops. Just one. And I'm standing in it. This club. The rat runs. Even my apartment. All of it. That place is inside a simulation. Memories of the day flood into my head like a broken dam. Nitra nagging for security codes. Fanks pushing me to log on. Of course he didn't know where my guy was. They couldn't program that in. My knee doesn't hurt. No one coded it should. I stare around the club, feeling like my whole world is in freefall. I take in the faces, the conversations, the interactions. Every one of them is a scripted character. If I went home right now and yanked the fridge aside, there'd be no safe behind it. They wouldn't have known to put it in. And asleep. That perfect, uninterrupted sleep. I wasn't resting. I was rebooting. Just running another cycle in a sim. I knew how this shit worked. When I worked for a private military contractor, we'd use this technique instead of interrogations. Somewhere out in the real, I'd be in a basement, black market chop shop, strapped down and hooked up to a quantum VR rig, drip-fed a cocktail of benzos and thiopental while they leached off my memories like the digital, soulless parasites they were. If they're overclocking my neural net, they can run a full day in under 30 minutes, tweak the variables, watch my reactions, wipe my memory, then run it all again. And again. There's no way to know how many times I've been through it already. No way for me to hold on to anything from one 30-minute cycle to the next. Every time I wake, it'll be the same shitty song, the same fake sunrise, and I'll think it's the first time. Each run grinds me down little by little. Overclock sims burn hotter, faster. Soon the brain can't keep up. Every time they reset me, they're taking something, stripping a little bit more of me away. But I'm getting out. I know something they don't. They want my memories? Fine. I'll give them enough memories to last the rest of their life. After I left the regular galactic military, I began working for Black Knight. They were a high-end private security contractor. It meant endless vetting, clearance, and neural screenings. It just came with the territory. I was looking for my first step on the muddy ladder. I was fresh then, green, and hadn't pulled in anywhere near enough chits for even the most basic augments. They said it was my lack of body tech that made me the perfect candidate. I was to resolve a hostage negotiation out on Varn. It turned out that a team of extremists had kidnapped the senator's daughters. They were demanding political prisoners be freed or they'd start removing body parts live on air. They'd set EMP proxy charges all around. There was no way for anything robotic or augmented to get within half a click. My commander said the plan was to dress me up like a spokesman and send me in alone. One unarmed recruit to neutralize 5 hostiles seemed like an impossible task. But like the Trojans of ancient history knew, deception tilts the scales. And the truth was, I wasn't unarmed. Dr. Yana Pavaga, chief surgical engineer at a research and development lab, had come up with something new, something they were calling wet works. She said it was a biomimetic system. I wasn't familiar with the term. My commander had explained it better for a grunt like me. He called it a ghost trigger. Told me they wanted to cut open my head and thread in a bunch of neurons and synapses grown from my own DNA. No hardware, no ports, and most importantly, no signature. I was told I'd still be me. It would knit seamlessly into my endocrine system, enhancing it, turning my whole body into a weapon that didn't trip alarms. It was cutting-edge stuff, a procedure I could never afford, but hell, I wasn't paying. I was told to pick 5 memories. Just 5. They had to be vivid. Each had to be different. When focused on in sequence, they would trigger a dump of adrenaline, testosterone, and norepinephrine, enough to kill a regular man twice over. It'd also kill pain, dispel fear, dull morality, strip away anything that made you hesitate. Later I'd find out they only gave the mission a 20% chance of success. Sometimes it's better not knowing. Anyway, they dressed me up in a real nice suit, gave me a 200 chit haircut, even had a long black Roycer drop me off outside. I went in to negotiate, walked out a hero. Spilled a lot of blood for that title though, most of it with just my hands. They say fighting monsters risks becoming one. They don't tell you what to do if you stop fighting and the monster stays. I started getting headaches. Sometimes they went away, sometimes they didn't. I was left figuring out which side I was on. In some ways, I still am. After that I got enhanced, regular, just like the rest of my crew, all top-of-the-line stuff. I had to sign on for 7 more years, but the company picked up the cost, which was not insignificant. Even then, I kept it to the essentials. I like to run clean. But the ghost trigger wasn't something you could just strip out. It's with me now for life, my demon, sleeping in the grey, waiting for that spark. Over time I met someone, left all that old life behind, married, had a kid. Our happiness was real. It was all just so fucking fragile. But you don't ever see that at the time. When I lost it all, I was left hollowed out. That's when I started getting people off world. It made me feel like I might have some purpose. And now my client is another woman and another child. Not mine. But they could have been. broke my own rules about no questions asked. She tells me she's just escaped from a man with power and connections, a man who would rather see them dead than free. So whilst I've spent a lifetime trying to forget how the wet works made me feel, I figure I'm back for an encore. I've been sitting on my rage for too long, and tonight, it all gets to come out. I'd promised myself that I'd never throw that switch again. But for them, for the idea of the man I was, I reckon I will. These goon techs just outside my skull think I'm a meatbag storing data. They think I'm trapped inside their sandbox. Let them stay thinking that just a little longer. A monster is waking. I've got to act fast. If they start to see anomalies in the data cascade, they'll reboot, and the game is over. I should give them something juicy. Make them want to keep this cycle running. Hey! I shout at the dancer swaying towards me. Earrings and perfume seems to make up at least half her outfit. Hey! You got a private terminal in this place? I need to message a client without synthets trying to grind on my lap. Is there somewhere quiet I can log on? I'm in control now. My words come out smooth and well baited. It's just the kind of phrase they've been fishing for. I wrap it in swagger to mask the hook. Yeah, that should do it. After a minute, I'm escorted to a cubicle in the back, and for once, absolutely nothing stands in my way. Someone out there is pressing a lot of keys right now. I sit down at the terminal, rest my hands on the keyboard. I remind myself they're likely overclocking. 5 minutes in here is just seconds in real time. So don't rush it. Get it right. When the ghost trigger activates, my neural grid will overload the VR and crash me right out of this sim. I'm about to flood my system with so much adrenaline it'd wake a grizzly from hibernation, and I'm in no better mood. They fucked with memories of my wife. That's all I have left of her. Memories. I've read all about them. You set off with an experience. One with emotion, impact, or repetition. One that allows for synaptic tagging in the short term. For long term, you need sleep. Deep sleep. Gene expression changes inside your neurons. Protein synthesis kicks in. Synapses rewire. Like a tree, the branches of your memory become stronger, more resilient. Turns out, when you're remembering something, your brain builds it on the fly. It's not playback, it's reconstruction. And every recall risks alteration. Details get rewritten. It's not like taking a book off the shelf. It's rewriting the whole damn book every time. So believe me, I'm going to be as careful as I can. I try to relax, focus, but it's hard with the stakes this high. Fuck it, I tell myself, and I play the only cards I'm holding. 5. I'm young. How young, I don't know. I'm scared. Small enough to be wedged inside a kitchen cupboard. I'm looking out through a crack. I hear soldiers shouting at my father. See the red flash of a retinal scanner. I'm biting down on my arm so I don't cry out. 4. The orphanage. I've just followed 2 older boys into the bathroom and I'm barely 14. I break the nose of one of them, dislocate the arm of the other. They'd stolen a doll from a kid who just arrived. 3. I'm older now, left the orphanage. I'm lying in bed housed in a social integration block for young adults. I'm recovering from COVID-19 fever. For 5 weeks I'm isolated and alone, staring at a pattern of black mold on the ceiling, tracing stellar constellations amongst the darkened spots. 2. I'm 21, joining the regular galactic military for the 2 years mandatory service. I'm standing in front of a mirror dressed in full uniform for the first time. I know the propaganda is just that, yet still, for the first time in my life, I have a feeling of pride, belonging. 1. I'm 23 now, and I'm off-world, stumbling alone and desperate deep underground. I'm waist-deep in cold sewage and stench clawing at my throat. I'm carrying Pera, she's my search and rescue dog. She's wounded, trembling. Behind me I hear gunfire. I only had 1 clip left. No way out. There's a moment. Nothing changes. I'm about to doubt myself, concerned my recall isn't what it once was. Then it happens. 0 memories. It's as if my mind is wiped. Heartbeat rises, vision glitches, and the simulation crashes. I'm back in the real, and the whole world becomes slow motion. I've stopped being Rex. I'm something else. Focused. Bright light. Screens. Tiled room. Music. Pounding. Wrist restraints. Wires in me. Break. Snap. Rip out. A man shouts. Fist to neck. Strike. Eliminate. Raised voices. Door opening. 3 men. Weapons. Close the distance. Get kinetic. Disarm. Gunshots. Noise. Pain. Block strike. Take pistol. Return fire. Point blank. Hit. Target eliminated. Duck blade. Push kick. Make space. Aim for chest. Shoulder. Temple. There's 1 left. Augmented chrome skull. Center mass. Open target. Empty clip. Vision pulsing. Room clear. Room clear. Locate exits. Acquire target. Kill Rex. What? Kill Rex. The command repeats. It's not from outside. It's from within. A cold pressure blooms behind my eyes. The system is talking, and it's not me. Wetworks has evolved. Conscious? Fighting for dominance, locked away for over a decade. It's insane. Hungry. Kill Rex. No. I am Rex. I am Rex. The endocrine rush begins to ebb as my self returns. I'm back in control. I try to claw its words out of my skull and spit them back into the void. Remember who I am. I'm left gasping for air as if I've been submerged in a frozen lake. I've got a fractured knuckle, lacerations on my forearms, and a near-miss gunshot wound that skimmed the surface of my right tricep. I can smell the blood. I'm holding a pistol in 1 hand. I'm surrounded by dead men and ghosts. Some old, some new. I check the bodies on the floor, taking ammo and chits, and I grab the data core from the VR. I'm not sorry. They never should have fucked with my memories. After a moment, I realize I'm half naked. Pants and boots though, which is always the preferable half. I take a jacket off one of the bigger corpses. It looks about my size. 3/4 length, red leather. "Fight the system" is tagged across the back in spray paint. "Ah, brother, you have no idea," I mutter, heading out the door and trying to figure out where I am. I emerge into an unlit back street on the edge of a neon dragon district. It's an area run by the Triad posse that overlooks the financial zone. I hear the high, rhythmic buzz of a drone flying overhead, its red lights glinting across the red street as if it's showing me the direction I need to go. I reload the pistol with the rounds I've scavenged. It's an A-Lock 19, the older model with smart sights. I already know what direction I'm heading, but as I head off, there's a flare of pain from my knee augment. I welcome that sensation like an old friend, because now I know for sure I'm out. I activate the gate masking, feel the joint shift, and go find a crowd to blend into. I jumped on the all-nighter out of the Dragon District, saw the time on the platform clock. I figured I'd been inside the sim for around 30 hours, about 60 days of sim time. They'd gotten nothing useful from me. Fanks' place was compromised. They'd be watching out for me there. But all things considered, wasn't catastrophic. I'd used a quiet terminal booth in a cafe bar to check the VR data core I'd lifted. All threads led back to one name, Marcus Danbury of Unitac, Bioengineering and Genetic Research Corp. I knew the name, just couldn't place it. With my Fanks contact off the table, my options had drastically narrowed. But before I made any decisions, I had to check my client was safe, still where I'd left her. And though it went against my protocols, I needed to hear the rest of her story. All of it. I needed to know just what I'd gotten myself into. By the time the transport stopped, it was almost 0200 hours. A deserted platform where the city rubbed up against the black mountains that surrounded it. It was raining again, and I was already missing my long coat. The new red leather one just wasn't cutting it. This was the far end of the spaceport, a holding dock for impounded and quarantined ships. It was fenced off with low-level automated security. You just needed a pass, and luckily I had one, freshly made with a ship's access codes and admin privileges. All it took was a few hundred chits and Marla. Marla was a service tech with a lot of knowledge and a gambling problem. Normally she maintained core systems for the ground crew, but she owed me a favor and had no love for galactic bureaucracy. I swiped myself inside the gate and made my way across half a mile of black cement, with nothing but the whine of repair drones for company. Sparse ground lights threw my shadow up against rows of dormant vessels and backlit raindrops in the dark. Eventually I came to a stop beneath a bulky medical support ship that had seen better days. It had cleared quarantine a couple of months ago and was currently impounded pending payment of outstanding port fees. Marla told me there'd been a company buyout between corporations. No one could figure it out. The ship had simply slipped through the cracks, waiting on payment decisions from people who were no longer employed to make them. Sometimes you just gotta love the bureaucracy. Leaning around the leg joint of a landing support, I stretched my fingers into a recess and pulled out a comm unit I'd hidden days earlier. I rubbed my thumb over it, watching it come to life with a soft blue glow. "Hey there," I said. "I'm here to look at the cargo bay." It was the code we'd agreed on. It meant I wasn't followed and everything was okay. After a pause, there came the tired hiss of a cargo door opening, followed by the mechanical groan of a lowering ramp. Inside, systems were running on maintenance power only. Minimal light, no heat, but it was good enough. I made my way through the crew lounge and found them encamped on a large curved sofa. She was called Zala, 28. Her child, Arabella, who was only a few months old, sleeping for now. Zala didn't look happy and couldn't say I blamed her. "We've been stuck here for 3 days, she said, telling me what I already knew. "You said overnight. I've been living off MRE rations that taste like they're from the last century." She was doing that mother thing, whispering like she was shouting. "Yeah, sorry about that," I told her, stripping off my soaking red leather. "Some old friends of yours paid me a visit, and I had to return the favor." She saw the bruises, the blood, took it down a notch. I dropped into the seat opposite. It was my turn to whisper. "We need to talk," I said. I laid it all out. Everything that had happened over the last 2 days. She listened, didn't interrupt, but the moment I mentioned the name Marcus, she sat bolt upright. "Look," I said, "you told me you wanted to get away. Normally, I wouldn't even ask, but this setup, the tech, the muscle, someone's spending serious chits." I leaned in. I needed her to see my eyes. I have to know what we're up against before I figure a way out. She stood, wrapping her long white cardigan around her, pulling her hands into the sleeves like she was a kid again. Then she talked. Really talked. Let it all out. "Marcus, he lured me here with promises of a career," she said. "It was fake, all of it, just bait. They were looking for someone like me, like her." She nodded towards Arabella, who's still fast asleep, oblivious. "I had to have a medical exam after the interview. I didn't even think about it. A few days later, I started my dream R&D job at Unitac. They're into bioengineering and genetic research. Cutting-edge medical tech augments. That's their public face. But underneath..." She choked up. If she was lying, she was damn good at it. I couldn't think of a reason why she would. I walked over to the ship's hollow terminal and brought it to life. My knuckles reminded me of what I'd been doing a couple of hours earlier, flaring with pain as I typed. Unitac, Marcus, Danbury. I know that name. I just can't place it. The data flickered, hovering between us in glowing threads. "Here," I said, my eyes scanning intently. "They own several subsidiaries." I trailed off as something clicked in my head. Then I saw it. Unitac was the owner of Black Knight, the private security firm that pushed me into the Wetworks program. Heat pulsed behind my temples. Felt like fate had wrapped its fingers around my throat. A few more taps and new information floated up. "Danbury," I muttered. Should have recognized that name. You know him? She asked, leaning in, her voice more curious now. Not Marcus, no, but his brother, Alexander Danbury. Yeah, absolutely. He was a senator. I rescued his daughters from a terrorist kidnapping years ago. That's when... I paused, teeth clenched as old memories stirred. That's when my life changed. I exhaled as if I were trying to blow away the past, but it only made it cling harder inside my chest. Alexander was all about optics, always pushing laws to regulate human adaptations and cybernetics. Made a name for himself playing the virtue game for the voters. Ironic, really. He used a soldier with unregulated arguments to save his own kids. Was that it? Was that something to do with my past? I scanned deeper, scouring through the details. It says he died a few years back, and his brother Marcus, well, that's when his careers exploded. Went from working in Shadow Division to Executive Director of Advanced Biostrategic Development. Geez, that's one hell of a title. I rubbed at my chin, feeling pieces wanting to click into place. He's where he has power, access, and influence over military applications, but just one level below top executive, so he's insulated from the blame. I shook my head. No way is any of this a coincidence. Too many threads. Too much overlap. The silence became thick as the weight of this floated between us. Look, I say, my voice quieter now. They weren't called Unitac back then, but they did work on me nearly 20 years ago. I was just a dumb kid. I had no idea what I was signing on for. No idea at all. Zala nodded as if she understood. She reached out, touched my arm. When I told you they made me have a medical exam, well, it wasn't anything to do with the job. It was just their cover story. They were searching for something. I was just the unlucky one who had what they were after. I went and poured us a cafo from the refresh station. Well, she huddled under a blanket, got comfy, and told me her story. Turns out my DNA is the perfect blueprint for integrating synthetic genes. You can alter things way beyond human limitations. It's worth... How much? I cut in, starting to see the shape of it. Millions? Billions, she said. Next-gen military advantage, all through organics, and once it hits scale, it'll be cheap. Soldiers immune to EMPs with long lifespans, regeneration, enhanced reflexes, strength, mental acuity. She broke off, looking at me. Can you imagine? Yeah, I said it quietly. I can. The moment was broken by Arabella making a low, nasal snore. How's she play into this? I said, nodding towards her. That's when Zala shivered, or she began again, and a feeling that things were about to get darker. They offered me a spot in a genetics program. Donate my eggs to their cloning trials. I declined, of course, politely. No, thank you. Her voice tried to stay light, almost joking, but I could hear the crack just beneath it. Like she was holding back the weight of something that could crush her. So they set me up, engineered a fake diagnosis, some lab-acquired life-threatening disease, and suddenly I'm a liability. They locked me in a sterile room under constant observation for months of treatments and tests. She choked on it. Memory, the trauma. It was a good minute before she was able to continue, staring up at unaccountable gods. Her fists were clenched, knuckles white. They impregnated me without my consent. I only found out by hacking my own file. That's when I found out the truth. Arabella, she's not just my daughter, Rex. She's my clone. She's me, but rewritten, like this. Scraped off the parts they didn't want and left the rest just there, open for whatever they needed. It's the perfect platform for any corp with enough chits to build on. She glanced at the sleeping infant as if she were seeing her for the first time. In the end, I got lucky. A nurse helped me, gave me her ID and a set of scrubs, told me to try and punch her out so she'd have an excuse. I walked out the back door with Arabella tucked inside a transplant box. She's crying by the time she's finished telling the story. Just one tear, but it's enough. She drops her gaze from the ceiling and looks at me again, back in the present now. There's a flicker of pleading in her eyes, and now she hits me with a killer line. Simple, but it kicks me right in the conscience. The next day, I met you. There she goes, throwing it all on me like I've got the answers. Whilst Marcus is out there, hidden behind firewalls and a goddamn private army. She's a good mother, though. No matter. If I were in her place, hell, I'd throw it on me too. I can't find a corporation for you, I tell her. I can't even secure transit papers anymore, not without burning people I care about. She looks down, shoulders slumped. No pushback. Somehow, that makes it worse. She's reminding me of my wife. I feel guilty. Or maybe I just felt guilty then. Thought about my wife. It's been a long day. My head's fried and I don't make good decisions on no sleep. Then again, I'm not sure there's a good decision here. Just the least bad one. Those MRE rations, I ask without looking up. They really that bad? Terrible, she says. Shame, I mutter, logging onto navigation and punching in my fraudulent clearance code. You're gonna have to live with them just a little while longer. A hum rolls through the deck as the ship stirs. Lights flicker on, underfloor panels warm beneath our feet. A moment later, the drives pulse with low, vibrant tones. Look, I say to her, we take this ship. I can get you as far as Wedfern. I've got a contact there who can set you up with new IDs. After that, you can get transport to wherever you want. She nods. Good enough. Good enough, I echo. She leans in and kisses me on the cheek. It's quick and unexpected, like an assassin. I never see it coming. Thanks, Rex, she says. I don't know how we can ever repay you. Don't tell anyone, I say with a smirk I forgot I had. And find me an aspirin. We head out of the lounge and up to the bridge. Marla's gonna be pissed. Stealing the ship wasn't part of her deal. She never said not to, but it was implied. We strap ourselves into oversized nav seats for takeoff. It's clear this thing won't be winning any dogfights. Zala is cradling Arabella close to her. I flick a switch and kill comms. No point talking to the tower. They ain't gonna be happy. There's a shift in the pitch of the drives, a bob of inertia, then the compensators kick in, and we're gone. Just a handful of receding photons in the endless night. I'm okay with this. In fact, it's the best I've felt in a long time. But I need to rest, and as soon as I find a bunk, my eyes are already closing. If I wake up to that same shitty song, I'm gonna be pissed. Wedvin, short stay landing port, second city. I slept well, almost a whole damn day. By the time I woke up, we were halfway to Wedvin. I met my contact, paid out for new IDs. No problems. Zala's solid. Arabella, yeah, she's a real cute kid. But they're not mine. Being around them hurts as much as it heals. They don't need what I've become. I couldn't save my own family. Why do you think I can save hers? Outside, the air is sharp and brittle. It's the kind that dries up in your throat and bites at your skin. Frost clings stubbornly to the ship's hull, glittering faintly under a partially eclipsed sun. She stands now on the boarding ramp of a deep space junker, Arabella cradled in one arm and the other resting on the hatch. I don't know where they're headed. I told her not to tell me. Better that way. You could come away with us, she says. Then she tells me something that stings, even though she meant it to soothe. You don't owe anyone anything, Rex. You've done enough. I make leaving easier for her. Let her hate me a little. So I shake my head and light up a cigarette. Flame shows off the bruises on my face, and the cold makes the smoke hang heavy. I've done enough. I say it slowly, shake my head, and let the worst of me show. I lost my love, my child. So should I stop seeking justice, revenge? How many did I have to kill for it to be enough? How deep did I have to cut? Or was it the other way, the ones I've helped, the lives I've saved? Did that balance the books? She starts to speak, tries to save me from myself, but I raise my hand and carry on. No, doesn't matter either way, it'll never be enough. I've lost too much, seen too much, done too much. I've worn the uniforms and I've pulled the triggers. Don't do this to yourself, Rex. She says it softly and it lands in my gut. Almost works too. Whoever she ends up with, they're lucky. But I just carry on spitting out my worst thoughts. Worlds fight over shortages they manufacture. Nations bury children just to keep shareholder graphs the right shape. She shouts at me again, trying to snap me out of it. Everyone's shitting out for themselves sometimes, Rex, but nothing lasts forever, even if you don't see it. I laugh a little. You can take out a politician if you have the will. Shut down a corporation? Sure. Few rich bastards have to make do with less for 5 minutes. But this fucking bureaucracy we've created, that shit is eternal. You can't kill it, or buy it, or close it down because all the tools you'd use are part of the goddamn machine. We live in a galaxy too big to understand itself, with more systems of control than anyone can track. No one remembers who they are, or why they're even pulling the levers anymore. But I remember. I know why I'm here. It's not for love, or happiness, or even redemption. They turned me into something I was never supposed to be. A weapon. A thing that kills. That's what they carved me into. That's my why. You say I don't owe anything to anyone? Look at me. I let them make me a monster. I owe everything. And even then, won't ever be enough. When I'm finished, there's nothing left. Zala's face is frozen. Fear? Maybe. But even now, she still offers me a way out. You're carrying more than Ghost Rex, but you don't have to carry everything. You don't have to be alone like this. Please, just come away with us, she says, blinking back a tear. But I can't. I'm more broken than I thought. More of me slipped out just now than I wanted, and finally I realize I've been treating pain like it's wisdom for too long. Time to change things up. Unitac is a large target, and Marcus is the bullseye. If I'm not planning on getting out, I can do it. Manipulate the system, rip the files, burn the man behind it. Maybe I get to see my Sarah and little Belle a little early. But Zala and Arabella, they'll be safe. I can live with that. I drop my smoke, wipe my face, suck it up. I can't fix the galaxy, but maybe I can fix a piece of it. Shake my head and step away from the ramp, forcing a smile. I'm gonna drop in on Marcus, I say. I've got old memories to share. The docking clamps disengage with a shudder and a burst of ice crystals. The engines hum to life. I watch them leave the way everyone always leaves. I go through half a pack of cigarettes just sitting in cold silence and watching the vapor trail fade, trying not to think. Will I make it? Will they? I don't know. There are no guarantees in this universe. No promises of justice. No expectation of mercy. Just imperfect systems and memories. Our sparks in the gray.
Like a bird, you felt it before you saw me.